I've had a couple of jobs from my career: sales, customer service, training. I've even been a people manager, and now I'm in the HR space. And I've seen a lot of different situations that played out negatively for people that don't know how to keep their mouths shut. Over the years, I've come to the conclusion that my coworkers are not my friends, they're just my coworkers. It doesn't matter how friendly they are, how well we get along, we interact. They're not my friends, they're just my coworkers. And in this video, I'm going to be discussing things that you should never, ever, ever, under any circumstances, discuss with your coworkers. Whether you're working in a large company, medium-sized, tiny business, working remotely, hybrid, going to the office full-time, great culture, toxic culture, they're just things you should never bring up in a work setting. If it's your first time here, hello, I'm Nicole Nyasha, ex-recruiter, and I share career and personal development content. I hope you enjoy this video and subscribe. If you're already a member of this community, hello again, I appreciate you being here. Your salary, debt, financial issues should not be discussed with your coworkers. You have no idea how the person you're telling really feels on the inside. And if you're discussing salary with somebody who's probably doing somewhat similar work and they find out they're making less, believe me, even if they keep quiet now, at some point, somewhere, somehow, someone is going to complain, and though nothing might happen to you directly, you're going to lose the trust of some important people. And there's so many different reasons why you could be earning more. Maybe you have a high level of education, maybe you have more experience for your background. So just don't discuss those things. Telling your coworkers about your financial situation, let's say debt for example, can actually put you in a tricky situation at work because you might be considered a risk, especially if you're in a role that gives you access to certain privileged information that might result in fraud. You just don't want people viewing you in a different way, in a different light. So don't discuss your financial problems with coworkers. If you're in a tight spot with money, talk to a friend, take a line of credit, better still start a side hustle and start earning more. Do something else, just don't bring it up at work. Your health is personal and your coworkers don't need to know your entire medical history issues, especially if it's not impacting your ability to do your job. If anything, you can discuss this with HR, and if it does impact your performance, then your manager obviously needs to know, but they are obligated to keep it confidential. If you're comfortable sharing your health issues with your colleagues, your coworkers, that's also okay. Just be sure that you're fine with everybody, the entire department, the entire team, and even other people outside of your department knowing about it, because you can't control who shares what. You might share it to a coworker in confidence, but they're not necessarily obligated to keep it private. So they might share it with somebody else, and before you know it, everybody knows your personal business. And everyone's favorite is office gossip. I think to some extent, majority of the people, you and I, have probably involved in this, standing around the coffee or tea area, sharing tidbits. But here's the thing about gossip. It spreads like wildfire and it can ruin your reputation very quickly. And worst case scenario, it can actually jeopardize your job. Gossiping about your colleagues, your boss's boss is a big no-no. Not only is it unprofessional, but it leads to toxic environments, and God hates it. There's also a high chance that if somebody is gossiping with you, they're likely gossiping about you too with other people. I know gossip is always juicy, it's exciting, it seems harmless to just speak about someone, but it actually does a lot of harm. I was listening to a sermon, this is a while back, and it was a sermon by Prophetess Leslie Osei, and she said something that changed my take on gossip and made me take a complete 180 turn not to engage in gossip at work or even in my personal life. I'm probably not going to explain it the way she did exactly, but her point was, gossip is like murder. You're not necessarily murdering the person physically, of course, but you're killing their reputation, you're killing their character little by little. And what does God say about murder? It's in the 10 Commandments. Do not murder. It's that serious, so just stay out of it completely. If somebody comes to you and they start discussing somebody, change the topic. Or if you're bold enough, tell them outright not to bring that to you. And if you hear about something that ain't your business, keep quiet, unless someone's life is at stake, of course. Something else I personally do not discuss at work is politics. Discussing politics is a good thing, but it can get tricky in a work setting. It's one of those things, one of those topics that can quickly lead to conflict and arguments. People get really passionate about their political views, and you don't want to get caught up in that at work. If you're with your friends or family, that's fine. Just remind yourself that you're there to work, not to debate your political views. Don't be the one to bring it up. It's likely to bring tension and make people uncomfortable. If it is brought up while you're there, don't side with anyone and keep your views to yourself. Keep your relationship drama stories out of the office. Your coworkers don't need to hear about all the arguments you're having with your partner, your family, the horrible dates you've been on. Find a friend, a therapist, a church leader. Don't discuss it at work. Not only is it unprofessional, it might make the person you're telling feel uncomfortable, and it blurs the lines between your personal and your professional life. And why would you want the people that you work with all up in your business like that? While it may seem harmless, if it's misinterpreted, it can harm how your people perceive you, and that can impact your career. If you have access to privileged information like sensitive projects, budget information, payroll, whatever it is, whatever company secrets you know, keep it confidential. This is beyond being a moral thing. There's actually a legal aspect to it. And if you come across information you were not supposed to find, keep your mouth closed. You didn't see anything, you didn't hear anything, you know nothing. The walls have ears, and what you think you're telling one person in confidence might be misconstrued and backfire in a really bad way. Just learn to be the kind of person that doesn't always talk when it pertains to things that aren't directly tied to your job. The best way to approach your career and work life is to remember that your coworkers are not your friends, neither are they your therapists. Yes, you should have fun at work, you should enjoy your time with your colleagues. After all, we spend the majority of time at work, but it's also important to set professional boundaries. Some things are better left unsaid, and just being discreet helps your reputation, and it can preserve your workplace and not make it toxic. Let me know in the comments, what are some of the things you would never talk about at work? What are some things that people have spoken to you about that left you feeling uncomfortable? Curious to read all about it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.